G'day guys, we have here a 2007 Kawasaki ER6F. Now this is a LAMS approved bike. So LAMS means it's a learner approved motorcycle scheme bike, suitable for someone to have as a first bike. I picked this up for next to nothing. I'm going to see what we can turn it into. So we've got the side fairings. That there would go underneath the engine. That's a random piece which is just the same as that but in black. After that, the windscreen and some broken bits of plastic. This bike was in an accident, so it's what they call a repairable write-off, which means it's allowed to be fixed and go back on the road. So obviously the cost to repair it at the time was exceeded what the insurance company wanted to pay, and so it goes up for auction. So anyway, this is what we've got. This is what we're starting with. Previous owner already bought the manual, and the front forks were the part that was damaged, which have been replaced already. So there's no damage to the exhaust, there was no damage to the plastic, unless that's the aftermarket one or the later model. And maybe that was the original one, given that it's all black. So maybe it got the front wheels gone back and punched it and broken it. I'll have to have a look. But there's no damage to the exhaust, so it hasn't gone back far. No damage to the radiator. And so this is what we're working with. Not sure exactly what we're going to do with it yet. Tyres are flat. It's been sitting for, I believe, about 4 years. And yeah, we're going to see what we can turn it into. You see all the front here took the impact. Cluster's good. We'll fire it up, see if we can get it running for a start, and then look at what we're going to do. See if we can find some new parts for it. This is a 2007 Kawasaki ER6F. F stands for fairing. So a fully faired bike, which is like the blue one there. I've looked at the parts that I've got. I've looked at the price of a headlight, and I've looked at what else they do with these bikes. This frame, my understanding, this is used for the ER6F, the ER6N, N for naked, as in no fairings, and also the 2006 to 2008 Kawasaki Ninja 650. So yeah, 650 engine. Pretty much that spring on the side, I think you'll see that on some of the 600 Versus. So this frame used for a number of different platform for a number of different bikes. So those are all the plastics up there. The side fairings look okay, other than some scratches. We've got a bent rear brake. Haven't found any other major damage to the bike itself. I think the fairings have popped most of it. Indicator's gone. Front headlight gone, front bucket for the headlight and shroud gone. Tyres are shot, as I said, flat as a pancake and pretty plasticky feel. Pretty old, so this bike's been sitting for, I believe, about 4 years in a shed. One of my neighbours has had it. He's got a number of bikes. This was a project that he was looking at, but due to some circumstances going on in his world at the moment, with building a new house, he's making some room in his shed, and I was the lucky recipient of this. So I have not been able to start it as yet. I believe I know what the issue is, and so I'll be working on that next. I believe it's going to be a fuel pump. It has been sitting, tank's pretty rusty inside, and also there's no battery in it. So we'll get a battery attached to it, and we'll start seeing what we can find out and diagnose. Stay tuned. I'm thinking this is going to be a 2 or 3 part series at this stage, and this is day one, so I've sort of got in my mind that I'd like to do something a little bit different. Maybe remove this tail tidy at the back here, and got to find some trims, got to get a headlight, etc, etc, and we might do a bit of a Streetfighter. Now my understanding of Streetfighter, the term came from basically crash your bike, or you find a cheap bike that's a bit rough, and you take aftermarket parts and you get the thing back on the road doing what it's meant to be doing, cornering hard and popping wheelies. So that's what I'm thinking. I think it's a pretty cool little platform for that, given that they already do one of these as a naked style bike. So let's crack on. The tank off the 600, the Kawasaki. Just removed the tank, just tipped out the petrol out through the bottom of it, and I just thought it's got this really crustiness going on. Water's obviously been sitting in here and around here and not getting away, so it's rusted there. Also on the bottom, similar sort of thing around here, around the bottom. Obviously a bit of moisture and stuff in there. So I just thought it might be a good opportunity, since I'm going to be rinsing this out, and because I can see there's some rust inside this tank down the bottom. I'll chuck this in the vapor blaster and just clean this part here up, and also the one on the bottom, as I showed you. And then you see in there, just near the bottom, there's a bit of rust and stuff where the small amount of petrol was sort of sitting in there. I guess there was water on top of the petrol. So anyway, I'll try and get inside there a little bit and just blast a bit of that out, and then it's going to be one hell of a job, I suppose, cleaning it all out, rinsing it out, and then air drying it and vacuuming all the dust out of it that I can. So anyway, I'll go and blast that now. Right, so less than a minute later, that's the result. Clean as a whistle. Bottom's the same, really good result. Nice and clean around there. I could have done a little bit more, but anyway. Next job is put the cap back on, so I can seal one end of it, fill it up with water. There's a bit of glass bead rattling around in there. I'll put some sand in there, and some coarse sand, and I'll swirl that around, and I'll end up, I would think, putting the vacuum cleaner hose in here once I've put it out in the sun to try and dry it out for a bit, and blow it out with the air gun. Then put the vacuum cleaner hose in there, have it upside down with the vacuum running, and then get in through the main hole through the bottom with an air gun, and just blast around in there with a bit of even a bit of fuel hose on the end of the gun, just so you can poke it right up into all the corners, blast all the dust and stuff out of the inside, dry it, do it a couple of times, and she should be good to go again. And then obviously going to have to spend some time cleaning this up, and yeah, and make sure it sounds like it's working. But anyway, we'll give that a talking to and see what happens. Check the cat hasn't been there. I'm going to attempt just to give this a really quick clean in the vapor blaster, very gently. Just probably 20-30 seconds in there should be all it's going to take, just to get some of that crusty, rusty stuff off. So let's see how we go. Maybe not one of my smartest ideas, but anyway, it's come up very clean very quickly. I could have spent a bit more time around there, but you know, I've knocked that surface gunk off it. So very happy with the result. And yeah, literally 20-30 seconds in there in the vapor blaster, just a quick clean. Then I hose down with some water because we need water in our fuel system. And now it's time to blow it all out, and then probably dunk it in some petrol a few times and get the water out of it. Okay, just had some camera issues with storage, so just storage problems. So I've just swapped to a different phone. So I did miss a bit of stuff, sorry, but I'm going to put the original spark plugs back into this bike. And I'm still waiting on some new plugs. It's a bit of a shame because that's life, no big deal. Anyway, I cleaned these ones up as best I could. That's all right. Oh, don't know if you can see that focus, baby. Yeah. Anyway, clean them up. We'll drop them in. See what happens. Now, I'm a good Boy Scout. I put everything away the other day. So, using the tool under the seat that's supplied with the bike, hopefully you've got yours. Just gently finger, just want to get them in there finger tight. It's at all difficult to turn it when you put them in there. Just wind it backwards a little bit first, and hopefully that'll help it. The threads just to align. But it shouldn't be too much effort to wind them in. There's a fair amount of thread to put in too with these, so just be mindful of that. Hours later, I'm not sure what the setting is for the plugs as far as how tight to what torque setting, but for tonight I'm just going to pinch them up. This is purely just to see if we can get it to crank over with the new fuel pump. So let's see how we go. So just, I'm going to switch it off there for a minute, and maybe just put you back on time lapse for a minute while I get this set up. Okay. Not a lot of fuel, but that's a nice one.
come through and kick it over if it's going to fire. So just get my hands a bit clean. Righto, cross your fingers. Fuel pump. Just prime that fuel pump a couple of times. Working, sounds good. Beauty! It's alive. Okay, so it's firing up. We'll just see if it will go into gear. Clutch is a bit sticky. Runs. Just let that clear for a bit. He's going to clean up all this rubber. Oops. Good thing it's getting new shoes.